Thank you very much, Tony, and good morning, everyone. My name's Jim Colvine. I work for Mastercard, and I lead the development of products and services supporting environmental sustainability across our network of customers, and those are financial institutions, of course, fintechs, retailers, corporates, or governmental bodies. It's a wide network. So I'm delighted to join you here today to tell you a little bit more about our efforts in this particular space, enhancing our network in climate change action. I want to help us address a fundamental question, whether you believe we, as businesses, have a role to play in driving the sustainability agenda. And I believe that the importance of that role is evident all around us. To quote Larry Fink of BlackRock in his recent CEO letter, anyone can see the impact of climate change in the natural disasters in California, Florida, Pakistan, across Europe and Australia, and in many other places around the world. There's more flooding, more wildfires, more intense storms. In fact, it's hard to find a part of our ecology or our economy that is not affected. Finance is not immune to these changes. Many of you, as Tony said, will have seen the report by the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change just in the last day or so, warning that we're overshooting on our commitments to hold global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Our belief that our role is defined by minimizing our environmental impact, as well as harnessing our network, which is what I want to focus on here. However, first off, you may be quite understandably be asking yourself why someone from Mastercard should be on the stage talking about environmental sustainability in the first place. The truth is, we at Mastercard focus on the environment and ESG factors more broadly because our business depends on it. It is a core part of our culture and values. It drives financial value for us aligned with our business goals. It differentiates us with partners, governments, and consumers, creating commercial opportunities and brand value. And it's key to our goal of building a more inclusive and sustainable digital economy where everyone prospers. So how did we come to have this focus? Well, as I said before, that there are some things that are pretty self-evident. We see global temperatures rise and extreme weather events become more frequent, and climate change is more urgent. Addressing climate change is more urgent than ever. We've heard both Marion and Louise talk about sustainability of business models. We're talking here about environmental sustainability to support those business models over time. Tackling this global crisis is going to take all of us, whether governments, communities, companies, and consumers. And we believe everyone should have the chance to contribute to keeping the planet healthy. The bottom line being, we recognize that creating real impact requires collective action across the public and private sectors and society generally. However, that doesn't give us a free pass to delegate responsibility elsewhere. The first step, of course, is that we must continue to reduce our own carbon footprints and enable partners and consumers to do the same. Specifically, at Mastercard, we were the first in the payments industry to set a net zero target, and we've since accelerated our timeline to achieving that to 2040. Importantly, we've tied all our employees' compensation to achieving ESG objectives. So the bonus payouts are tied to these particular objectives being achieved across our business. We're working towards net zero through our own operations, greenhouse gas emissions scope 1 and 2, and in collaboration with our suppliers to address scope 3, which, as many people will know, is the hardest part to achieve outside our own core business. So as we decarbonize ourselves, the second step is that we harness our extended network to do more. Like many other corporations, we can only do so much on our own. The climate change requires urgent collective action. I stress the word collective. We have tremendous opportunity to force multiply our reach by activating our global networks. We have a reach of more than 90 million merchants, 3 billion cardholders worldwide, and that's quite a network if we could only unleash its power to make a difference. We've collectivized action through the Priceless Planet Coalition, which is a coalition that unites the efforts of consumers, financial institutions, merchants, fintechs, and cities to fight climate change through the restoration of 100 million trees. This is done together with climate science and forest restoration experts, Conservation International, and World Resources Institute. We have currently over 130 partners worldwide in the coalition, from our largest customers to new startups, and they've all committed to running campaigns that align with their business goals to engage consumers in this climate change action. Partners might encourage consumers to donate to tree planting or to using their loyalty points to plant trees, or the coalition partner might plant a tree on the consumer's behalf when they take a sustainable action, such as going paperless or taking public transport more often. We recently expanded our repertoire portfolio of forest restoration projects, which we have across 6 continents, with 15 new sites to add to our 3 original projects, including Cambodia, India, the Atlantic Forest in Brazil, and the Appalachian Forest in the US. We also have a project in Scotland, and which is going to be kicking into gear in the next few months as we plant. Conservation International and World Resources Institute lead the mobilization and the coordination of these forestation efforts. After all, Mastercard is not noted for its ability to plant trees. That's why we're working with the experts. They were selected based on their science-based approach to restoration and successful track records in global conservation. With the help of these organizations, Mastercard is developing a global portfolio of the highest quality restoration projects, emphasizing those with the most potential for 3 key things: the climate, the community, and biodiversity. As an example, our forestation project in southwest Kenya supports the livelihood of thousands in the local farming community. In recent years, local forests have suffered from deforestation, in part due to illegal logging that's caused widespread erosion. River levels have plummeted, harming food production, water availability, and villagers' incomes in the largely agrarian economy. The World Resources Institute is working with local communities, groups to restore this landscape, making the land more productive while helping reverse the efforts of climate change. The effort is mobilizing stakeholders, citizens, government officials, local NGOs on the ground, empowering the local community to restore their own land. The output will drive thriving indigenous trees, restore water resources, and yield more bountiful crops for local farmers, driving their income, driving the economy of that particular area. We're also restoring over 1 million trees in Malawi. Like all of our trees funded by the coalition, each of these trees we restore in Malawi will be tracked for the next 5 years. So once they're planted, we retain our responsibility to make sure that those trees grow tall and strong. And by design, again, it's the local community have been forefront of these efforts. Our project is focused on continuing its combined efforts of sustainability and empowerment, in this case, particularly female empowerment. Our project includes providing education, training, and support to preschool caretakers who watch and feed the young children of the women that work in the plant nurseries. And as a final small example there, we're restoring the lakeshore trees around the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, Tonle Sap in Cambodia. The 500,000 tons of fish from the lake actually provide 2/3 of the protein in Cambodians' diets, but due to the combined effect of deforestation and climate change, catches are falling. Restoring the lakeshore forests over an invasive shrub that has come in will reverse this and establish fish processing projects also designed to burn the earning power and the economies of the local community. These illustrations endeavor to show the role that we're collectivizing action can have far-reaching impact beyond the immediate focus in addressing climate change. We must embed sustainability into the heart of our business to enable sustainable choice. We see consumer passion and concern for the environment is growing, and people recognize that what we buy and what we produce matters to our communities and shared planet. And so we're building sustainable solutions for our consumers and customers, be that our Sustainability Innovation Lab or our industry-leading Sustainable Cards program. If plastic must be issued, we want that plastic to be in recycled plastics and also using biodegradable inks. In particular, we developed the Mastercard Carbon Calculator with our fintech strategic partner, Economy, to help people track their own individual carbon footprint and understand the environmental impact of their purchases. We have new tools such as systemic risk assessment that can help measure the ESG metrics that really count. And here we can find out even more because we have our stand downstairs. Please do call in and find out more about that. Just to go back to our carbon calculator for a moment, it enables our consumers to track their personal carbon footprint and better understand the environmental impact of their purchases. while offering easy ways to contribute to forest restoration. Research commissioned by Mastercard reveals a marked increase in consumer passion for the environment. More than half of those surveyed across the world see reducing their carbon footprint as more important now than it was before the pandemic. This signals a growing trend toward eco-conscious spending and consumption amongst people who want to turn their purchases and rewards into meaningful action for the planet. To address this, we developed this carbon calculator, and we've integrated it across our global network. This feature is easy for banks to adopt and customize for their eco-conscious consumers who are looking for more ways to be informed about their spending. The carbon calculator enables consumers to receive a snapshot of their carbon emissions generated by the purchases across spending categories. And the calculations are powered by the independently verified Aland Index and can be further enhanced with relatable and easy to understand equivalents, such as the number of trees required to absorb the carbon dioxide that's actually caused by their consumption, and tips about living more sustainability for driving better engagement. We don't want to leave those consumers in guilt, so we offer the option to contribute to forest restoration projects like the Priceless Planet Coalition we just described earlier, whether by donating, by using points, or in cash to the bank's loyalty report, to the program. Banks can seamlessly integrate the carbon calculator into their mobile banking apps through our suite of APIs. So, in closing, we must focus the climate dialogue not on debating the effort, but rather on aligning to ensure transparency and accountability in our impacts that we make. The urgency of the need has presented us with a tremendous opportunity to not only address our individual organizational climate footprint, but as importantly to connect people and businesses to the insights, tools, and solutions that can help further collectivize consumer action against climate change. Humanity's greatest opportunity today lies in our ability to harness these advances to create a regenerative digital economy and realize the true potential of sustainability and inclusive growth. That it may seem an impossible task in a world where millions of people are impacted daily by the effects of climate change, from extreme weather to rising sea levels to natural disasters to deforestation. It is not. Thoughtful collaboration and innovation can make it a reality. Everyone has a role to play within the network, from the smallest businesses to the biggest corporations, from governments to NGOs, across all generations. If all players in the ecosystem embrace their role as positive enablers of climate action, together we can drive a more inclusive and sustainable world for everyone, everywhere. Thank you for your attention.